Welcome back. This is Wyckoff Labs, and today we are going over a chart that we received from a viewer for the first time. I'm excited to go over this chart because this trade had a lot of potential and things went sideways after some things did not happen the way that she wanted to. We're gonna go in deeper analysis after the intro.
Studied the tape till my eyes went red. Every loser taught me, every win kept me fed.
Alright, so let's see. She said, we have an uptrend with a strong change of behavior, then exhaustion at the top. Let's see, we have the uptrend with a very strong change of behavior. This is probably this one, because it's the strongest from anything that we had before. Good. Then exhaustion at the top. All right, I'm thinking that the top should be here because her entry point was right here. Good. I wanted to get in at the top, at the exhaustion and go down through the support. So the entry was here, thinking that this was a top, probably a selling zone, and then drop anywhere below this this resistance, this support. Good. Did not happen. All right, let's analyze what happened and why. So first is first, we have this uptrend that she has the lines here. We had push down more aggressive than this other one, then more prolonged than these two ones, and then exhaustion here into a smaller. We have the volume pretty low into the exhaustion. Then we had some volume here. Let's see what we had. We had probably this bar. Let me see. It's a little bit harder. That is not the chart itself, but we will find our ways. Probably this one is this, then this one, and then this red bar is right here. And then exhaustion, some volume, and this is where what I wanted to see. This volume probably comes into here, and then this volume comes into here. Great. So we see a bunch of spikes that are basically selling. Good. We had a good starting for our analysis to push this down. But at the same time, here are the things. We have the spikes, but we still are stronger on the way up than anything that went down as of right now, until here. This was the change of behavior, as she said, but look where it stopped. It stopped into a negative extension from the previous low. It did not reach any of the support. And let's see the middle. The middle is somewhere here and it's somewhere here. All right, so these areas where we keep getting some demand. Good. This volume is the biggest on the chart, probably together with this other line. Good. What do we see? This bar had a lot of volume as stopping action and immediately stopped as a small trading range. Good. Here we had the volume and then we dropped a little bit, and then we had a stopping action continuation from here into an exhaustion after this very deep push down. Overall, until here, this is weaker than this. Good. That's probably what was her analysis before enter a trade. Here, because of this push down very aggressive, it's clear that we are not going to receive any more demand, not the same way as we received before. And probably that was the thought, as go into the selling zone where everything started dropping aggressively down and try to have at least another leg, if not longer. But it did not happen. And let's understand why. In order to understand why, we have to analyze this and this. And of course, from there, we're analyzing this. This was a very strong push up as soon as the market touched the support. Clearly, demand is there and waiting for the price to drop into those levels to push it up. Probably even some news to push such aggressive and such a big bar. It's possible. Okay, here probably something similar excuse me, where the price dropped on a very high spike, probably on news again, and then again stopped. Now let's look at what we said. We have this trading range and then we have this trading range. Let's compare them a little bit deeper. We have one push up, stopping action, spike, another push up, weaker than this previous one, but immediately we are reversing, exhaustion. We are checking this with this. This one has some extra sellers there, but doing nothing, not able to do anything, and because of that, exhaustion immediately and push up again. The same way that happened here. This was the sellers, pushed up, this was stronger, and because of that came into that local support resistance and were capable of pushing it down into the other support, where this was probably a phase C, very local, very tiny, and pushed up. Here that didn't even happen. We did not have any sellers and then pushed up. Good. Let's just make a resume of that because it was very deep. We have one push, stop, push, stopping action, push again here, stopping action, no sellers, and push again until a limit where sellers just dropped it. Now let's take that here. We have one push up. At least of right now, this is stronger than this. Why? Look at the angle. Look at the angle here. Good. Stopping action. Right here. Right here. Interesting. This feels a little bit weaker, but not by a lot. We're talking very tiny. Look at the difference between these two. Let's look at the volumes for this. We have the volumes right here, where I think it's a little bit on the side. Yeah, probably this through this. Let me clean. Probably this to this. And this is the spike of the push up. Okay. This is the volume here. And then here we got probably that's the spike up and then the exhaustion. So these two. Good. What do we see? Spike up, trying to go, didn't go anywhere. Overall, the volume is pretty similar, although here even a little bit lower volume. If we are not going anywhere, that means that lower volume, not enough sellers. As of right now, here, there are not enough sellers. And furthermore, look where we are. Wow, I wouldn't expect that to be a tiny bit lower. This is the selling zone of what crashed this huge bar down, and it did not happen afterwards. So there was a secondary change of behavior right here. No sellers at a very important level. And because of that, we started going up. All right, so after this push up, we had this push with this trading range, I would say, something like this. Where are we here? This push, much weaker, but it's still a push. So it just takes much longer, probably about 6-7 hours comparing to one push hour. Here, okay. And then sideways. Let's see this sideways. This is a trading range right here. Let me clean and do it again just because of that bar. This and this. Look at this selling here. Look at this selling here. That is actually beautiful because look at the push up look at the push up, look at the push down. Well, up and down, it's this one. In other words, this is less strong on the side, on pushing down than the other one. This was more aggressive, and therefore that's why we got this. Comparing to here, this is a tiny bit stronger than this. And that's why we get this. To be honest, I did not see that until now. And that was really eye-opening. Because of that, what is next? Next is we have a big push up here, exhaustion, and then another push up, exhaustion, the volume, not the volume, the sellers right here. A little bit more exhausting. We do not have the spike as before. Let's see, where are we in volume? It's right here. Look at this. This is the volume. This is the volume of the sellers. And this is the volume of the sellers. So there were more sellers here than here, and therefore we did not have the push up, the spike. But we still tried. Okay. Then no spike, and then we are going into, sorry, not like this. We are going into 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Much weaker. Exhausting supply, some demand, although this is probably 50% supply, and then some stopping action right here. We are comparing it to this. Very similar, right? Just more aggressive because of similar to this one. And then we have the push up, we have the push up, and then we have the push up. In other words, we don't have a secondary change of behavior, more volume, more suppliers to exhaust this demand, and the demand kept accumulating on the way up little by little. This is not a very aggressive demand, and that's what turned her around, thinking that this is the last leg up, probably even from here, but it was not. This keeps going up, and who knows until when, until we get something like this, then no demand, and then we start climbing down, going down. All right, overall, how can we predict these things? One, we saw at selling zone, nothing really happened. This was not a bad entry other than no selling, but no demand either, showing that there could be some potential of another leg down. And that's why you could enter here and check it out. Now, where she messed up is not getting out at the time where she needed to get out. This started climbing. Am I at the right spot? Here, right? And down, down, down. Okay, very tiny. Again, tiny. Up, it's stronger than down. Down, still nothing. So the overall picture, although there are some sellers, probably because of close to the resistance, not enough to push this, not at the support, not through the support. Overall, a good entry point. Just find the reason for you to be in the trade after you entered and see if you still validated your point every bar, every couple of bars. All right, let's go over the evaluation points. Bias. Well, she entered right here and expected bias to go down here or lower. It did not happen, so 0. Timing. Let's see. Timing. If we are taking the reasoning of why the timing is here, at the selling point, with some change of behavior from this rally into a trading range right here, and some weakness on the demand, probably this bar, this bar, this bar, you could say that there is not enough demand to continue, and that's why you are going for a leg down. So I cannot give 100% here because, well, it didn't happen. It's not a perfect timing for a good trade, but still the logic behind it's there. So I will give a 50% on timing. All right, the next one is character, and that is defining the character of the move before you enter. And whatever was the character of pushing probably down here, or probably another leg down here, or directly push through after an exhaustion of all of these, it did not happen. So unfortunately, it's a 0. The next one is point of entry. Point of entry, similar to the timing, it was pretty good if we are looking into the change of behavior of this comparing to what happened before. It was at the selling zone. It was demand slowing down, but there was just not enough supply yet. The point of entry I will give as a good entry point because of the lack of demand there, but connecting to the rest of them, such as bias, character, and timing, would influence in the total evaluation. So overall, I will give 100% into the point of entry and the logic behind. The next one is the stop loss. We have the stop loss right here, very well shown, right above this, and probably the resistance. Couple of things. One, if we are going above this line by a few ticks, it could still show that the market is strong and still push down, and probably that was the thought. Let's go a little bit higher, give a little bit more breathing space in case this will turn back. A little bit more tighter will be right at this level, and then you will not stay in the trade for so long. But again, what if at this level could actually turn back down or at the previous resistance? So it's not bad. It's more like how you feel like having the risk a little bit more breathable or a little bit more tight. So I will give 100% on the stop loss. Well defined. This was your stop loss, whatever the reason was behind. If it's not too much for no reason at all, it's a really good stop loss. The next one is the exit. The exit is where the stop loss was defined. Did not move the stop loss and just let it ride and kicked her out. Good. That's perfectly fine. If this was your decision of the risk that you put before you enter the trade and you followed through, in this case, I will give 100%. The trade itself did not work out. But I wanted to record this video because I want to show that not all the trades will go your way, and not all the trades that don't go your way are bad trade. Overall, this was a 58% evaluation points. So the total score was a 58%. It is a blunder because it's lower than 65%, but it's pretty close to being a pretty good trade. And in this case, the market just didn't go your way. So do not put too much emphasis on something that didn't happen the way that you thought. And just look at the reasoning of why and try to improve those things. For you today, look at the bias and the character, because those two could help you on finding those better entry points. For example, we said here the level was really good, but the character of the selling was just not there. The buyers were still pretty strong here. So just look into those things, improve that, and you are profitable. All right, Elvina, thank you for this trade and this screenshot with all your reasonings behind. I do appreciate you sending me this, and it was really interesting to go a little bit deeper and understanding why it didn't work out, because looking at the larger picture, it did show that should go your way. Just make sure that you also go deeper into the bar by bar analysis and understand what happens on the moment, but never forget about the big picture. If you do those two things together, you are gonna do really good. And for everyone else, if you want me to analyze your trade, send it to the email on the screen right now, and I will analyze it next week. Thank you, and I will see you next time.